Hello, this is Taya Gurkin with Peghead Nation, and I'm here with the new Bourgeois LDBO Presentation Limited Edition guitar. This guitar was just introduced at the 2016 NAMM show, and it's the flagship of a new line of guitars for Bourgeois that's inspired by the vintage Gibson LOO type of guitar. The guitar I'm holding here is number 2 of a limited edition of 10, built with Brazilian rosewood, torrefied Adirondack spruce top, and of course the thing you probably noticed first is the pearl inlay in the fingerboard, which is something Bourgeois calls the presentation inlay. And they've used this on different custom and limited editions in the past, and it's a fitting design to use on this limited edition guitar. So as I mentioned, this guitar is inspired by Gibson's classic LOO type design, the body shape and the 25-inch scale length, and many details about the guitar. But it's not a strict copy of any particular vintage guitar. Instead, Bourgeois has managed to fuse some of its own construction details, some of its design ideas with the vintage design. They've come up with a very cool original guitar that has a distinct vintage flair. This instrument is built with very special Brazilian rosewood back and sides. Dana has told me that he's had the sets for these 10 guitars in this limited edition for some time, and they were just too small to use on an OM or larger guitar, and so he's been waiting for the right kind of instrument to use these on. And it's just beautiful wood, and it's a perfect match for this type of instrument. This is the first time in several years that Bourgeois is introducing a new body style into its line. They've done Gibson slope shoulder dreadnoughts before, but this is the first time they've done a smaller bodied Gibson style instrument. And it's not only going to be available in this limited edition, but they're also introducing it into their standard line with less elaborate appointments, different wood choices, etc. But let's take a look at this particular guitar. The inlay is actually, it almost looks like the whole fingerboard is pearl, but they are pearl blocks inlaid between the frets. And you can actually see there's abalone inlaid into the pearl on this. This is really quite spectacular. It's an eye catcher. It has ivoroid binding on the fingerboard and the body. Of course, the purfling is abalone on the body of this. On the back, we have a special custom back strip. A beautiful pearl heel cap. Pearl is also used for the buttons on the gold Waverly tuners. And of course there's a fire stripe pickguard on the guitar, which is something you would have seen on a vintage Gibson of this era. I love the inlay in the bridge, on the wings of the bridge on here as well. And the sunburst finish, of course, is beautifully executed. The guitar feels a little bit more like a contemporary guitar than many older vintage Gibson would sound. The neck does have a V shape, but it does feel slightly more slim, and it's not quite as wide as some vintage Gibsons would be of this style, even though it is 1 23/32 wide at the nut, and it very playable all the way up and down the fingerboard. The guitar has a 25-inch scale length. So kind of in between a short scale and a long scale. And of course the setup is expertly done, and the guitar plays very well all up and down the neck. So let's also hear Peghead Nation's Scott Nygaard play the guitar, and you get a sense of the wide tonal range that the instrument is capable of. So that's the Bourgeois LDBO Presentation Limited Edition guitar. It's really a spectacular instrument all around. I love the appointments of it. I love the woods used on it, but above everything, it's just a great sounding guitar, lively sound. It's got the vintage tone, perhaps due to the torrefied top and the Brazilian rosewood, and it's just a joy to play, a joy to look at, and just a wonderful instrument all around. For Peghead Nation, my name is Teja Gurkin.